Jobbing with Nikki. Yeah, gobbing with Nikki. Jobbing with Nikki. Yeah, we're jobbing with Nikki.
Welcome to this episode of Jobbing with Nikki, and today I am joined by Mr. Vampire himself, RADU BULAT.
Hi there.
Are we doing this in full vampire voice all the way through?
Well, I do have a cold at the moment, so my voice is a little bit more deeper than it usually is. Also, I have a very good microphone.
Yeah, all right, show off. I always feel like
Bought it about.
and I've just got my laptop and that's it.
Well, I'm not really. I'd say I'm showing off, but honestly, this Blue Yeti here got to be at least 10, 12 years old. It still works, but it was an old model when I got it, but it still works. So, at least you can hear me clearly.
Did you get it for doing like the voiceovers you were doing for the audiobooks?
Yeah, it was one of the things. Also, I got it for my gaming habit as well, because I used to use these horrible 15 to 20 quid headset microphones that was connected by the hard, it was basically connected into the USB, and I would always have problems with either the earphones just breaking out and I'd lose hearing in one side, or the wire would just degrade for one reason or another, because guess what? Then they're not designed to last, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, tell me about it. The amount of headsets I have bought my children is unreal.
It's one of the reasons why I use wireless Bluetooth earphones these days. These cost me at least 60 quid, but they're probably going to save me a lot of money in the long term for the lifetime that I'm going to be using them.
Right, let's get on to wrestling. So
because you can tell that I absolutely love technology.
Oh yeah, so do I. I don't know why I started a podcast, honestly. So some people might not know, but you have been around a very long time.
Yes.
What year did you start?
Well, if you really get down to it, I had my first training session in 2005.
Wow.
And I was literally 21 years old at the time. And I just went into, let me scale back a little bit. After I left secondary school, I had a friend who was also into wrestling. He was probably one of the few friends that I had that were as mad into wrestling as I was. Yeah. And he discovered a wrestling school in Hillsborough. And I wasn't in a good mind. Number one, I was in college. And number two, I wasn't in a right mindset to be going out and doing things. Yeah. So I had to wait for about maybe two or 3 years until things had settled down enough to the point where I just asked him, "Is that school still open?" And he just basically gave me it, and I went there, and things kind of went on from there. I had my first match in April of 2007. But personally speaking, I don't say that I'm that much of a veteran. I don't even like the term veteran. That just gives me just horrible memory. Some people who thankfully are no longer in the scene, and in some cases they're not even amongst the living.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into too much about that. I probably will at some point. Yeah. But I had my first match in April of 2007. But personally, I say that I started in January of 2012, because that's when I started getting more regular work. At least one match. Back before then, I was having some cases maybe 3, 4, 6, 7 month gaps in between each match. business then. I mean, I'm not sure if you were like actually a fan or like watched around the indie scene that we had here in the UK at the time, but it was a mess. And it had been for quite a long while since World of Sport got taken off the television. But the reasons for that are neither here nor there. Also, we've probably only got like an hour and a half for us to talk about wrestling. So,
I mean, like, I think I started going in 2015 to the Indies. But I've said to you, I didn't realise, because I was drunk a lot back then. So I didn't realise you were actually on like a few of the shows that I went to back then. Like your EBWs and your Phoenix events. Like, I didn't realize.
Yeah. I had to. I actually had to double check some of those matches that you mentioned that you'd seen, because I believe I would have noticed you. Though, to be fair with you, considering at the time there was a certain other that regularly came to our shows and kind of made a bit of a nuisance of themselves, both on the shows and outside. Whenever I would inevitably see them. I don't know if you remember the Thomas family at all.
Yes, I do. Yeah. Yes,
really
I saw them. Yeah. Saw them last year at the One More Round show.
Yeah, I don't think they went to any other shows besides Phoenix events and EBW.
No, I don't
think
they did.
Really, because they were they were genuinely some of the best fans you could get because they actually made noise no matter what was going on. Though they had some of the worst chants ever when it came to me. That said, if it weren't for them, I would have been a bad guy for my entire tenure in EBW. It's a bit sad for me to say this, but there were two things that turned me babyface. Number one was some of the comebacks that I would like say to the Thomas family whenever they would they would just say the usual things that fans say to wrestlers on family shows. And me being a bit of an edgy boy at the time, still am, but you learn to moderate yourself as you get older. I would just say stuff. Now, you have to be careful about what family shows. You can skirt things under the line. I mean, so many cartoons in the 90s that I watched, I didn't realize until, recently that some of them actually had some quite questionable things that they were referring to. Well,
yeah.
Yes. Well, yes, it was either that and also Chris Travis passing that kind of turned me babyface in their eyes, because I don't know if you were there on the Phoenix event show the week of his passing.
I'm not sure, because I went to a lot of Phoenix shows back then, because I actually worked with Dave and we did one in Doncaster for Tickled Pink, and I reached out to Dave and we organised that whole show. But I'm not sure. Like I say, I used to go to them all the Phoenix shows, so I potentially was. But
all right, it's the one where we had the basically at the start of the show, all the wrestlers came out like 10 bell salute for Trav. Now, literally every person that was on that show had either been friends with Trav, or they had been, sort of mentor to him. Like even me, like I've always used the expression that Trav was like the older brother that I never had, because believe it or not, I'm actually the eldest of 6. Wow. Yeah, it's just a thing. Like I've got one younger brother who's in the next room, and I've got 4 younger sisters.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I love them all to death.
Oh.
So Trav was kind of like the older brother that would just he'd rib you, but he'd rib you in a way that he would inevitably find funny.
Yeah,
that you could get a laugh out. And he was, unless you were a complete cunt to him, he was never mean-spirited. I mean, he had some moments where he was kind of, maybe skirting the line just a little bit. But Trav was an absolute. Trav was a friend that, honestly,
Yeah.
I don't think I will ever get anyone like him, and there'll never be another one like him. And the fact that he developed cancer and eventually passed away from it after a relatively short time.
Yeah.
When it was just only that far away from getting a contract in America for TNA. It was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I've already told people about this, and I'm already made this public as well on the Instagram, but I went into a depression because of that.
Yeah.
There was a period from April of 2016 to around about the middle of lockdown, the COVID lockdowns that we had, where I just completely checked out from wrestling. I still went there, still took bookings, but my heart just wasn't in it.
Yeah, which is understandable,
Yeah, I really shouldn't have been in wrestling at that point. I should have just said, okay, I'm going to go up to this point and, fuck off and do something else for a while. But, I just stuck with it because I didn't really have that much else to do in life besides, work and, little bits and pieces with the family.
Yeah.
I just felt lost. Also, the environment that EBW had at the time wasn't exactly very healthy. Typical bullshit in the world of wrestling.
Oh yeah. There was a lot of it back then, unfortunately. A lot of backstage politics, drama. It just seemed to be never ending. I mean, luckily I wasn't privy to a lot of it, but even I had some bad experiences as a fan,
Yeah. Still, as much as I dislike the way that Son of Wrestling has changed since, back from the days when I first started.
Yeah.
I think, broadly speaking, it's in a lot healthier place now. At least there's a means for people to just put things out there and address whatever grievances they have, and just basically just treat it like it's any other industry. Wrestling as a whole was like the I'm not sure what the right term is. It was kind of clandestine, a lot of stuff was done under the table.
Yeah.
And in some ways that kind of made it a little bit exciting, but on the other hand, it kind of made it it opened it up to a lot of abuse. Not just abuse can take in various forms.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I never saw any of the. I think the worst I saw of it was people just getting into fights backstage, or some veteran. The term that referred to me was scurfing. Just stuff like when the veteran comes into for a pin, when they start running their forearm across your face and trying to crush you. Not so much crush your nose, but just basically just annoy the shit out of you just to see how you react.
Oh wow.
That was basically a lot of. There's a lot of. I mean, it rarely ever happened to me personally. I always it was drilled into me. The mentality was that whenever you go to somewhere new and you've got some people who've been there for a while. This was mainly kind of I'm not going to name the promotions, but a lot of the veterans, they had this mentality that we need to protect the business. That also means that you need to test some of the people in it, some of the people coming into it, just to make sure that they're not going to fuck around, or that, they've got the mentality that, when things get really, really, really bad, they're not just going to check out and fuck off and go and work down at, work down at the tills or something like that. Especially, the time when Brock Lesnar, after he was pretty much given everything on a silver platter, in the space of 2-3 years, and then he decided to fuck off because he wanted to play football. Kind of, granted, no one I know has ever gotten to that level, but you can understand the mentality.
Yeah. But I think, like you say, as a whole, I think it's a lot more healthier now. I think people feel a lot more comfortable to speak to other people now. Like, you see coaches and trainers seem a lot more open to the trainees. They'll help them in more ways than just wrestling. They'll help them if they've got just a random mental problem or, you know, something like that, which I think is a lot better now that younger people are coming in and they can talk about these things and not feel shunned or, I think that's quite.
Yeah. Like, obviously there's kind of like a line in the sand. Like, the wrestling business can be really, really harsh. Like, even with all the like improvements that we've had over the last couple of years, it can really, really grate at you. Like, especially if you're just trying to get your name out there, or you're trying to like break into a new territory, or I say territory, you're breaking into a new city or a new place like that.
Yeah.
Like, it can really grate you, get on your nerves when you're going out there, you're helping set up rings, you're like messaging promoters, you're being, just generally just not being a cunt. I should have asked before we started, is it okay for me to swear? I know I've done a swear at least 5 times so far, but what can you expect from a council estate?
It's fine.
That's a really interesting character concept, isn't it? A vampire from a council estate.
Why don't you run with that more?
What a chavvy vampire.
Yeah.
You're just giving me ideas, not good ideas, but they're ideas.
They're good ideas.
All right. I don't know if they're good ideas. I don't think
they are. I always have good ideas. It's okay. No, I'm from a council estate too, so you're all right.
Anyway, sorry. We went off track on that one. Sorry, what were you asking? What were we talking about before I got into that tangent?
We were just talking about how long you've been around.
Oh yeah. The short version, way too long. I'm not even 40 yet.
Not even. Oh, lucky you. I'm just. But how do you find PPW different to EBW and other places back in the day?
It's like night and day.
And
I've told Nathan and Liam this, but I've been around long enough to go to several different wrestling schools. I've been around literally dozens of promotions, even though my cage match profile doesn't say as such. Like, literally half of the promotions and the shows that I've worked on aren't even listed there, which is kind of like, all right, thank you very much. But, once you're around for a while, you can kind of start to notice that quite a lot of schools back in those days, they just basically existed to take money from you. Like, some of them had rings, some of them just had mats. The trainers, if I can call them that, they would kind of work with. They didn't have a curriculum. They had half of an idea of what they wanted to teach, and a lot of it was just basically, you have a 3-hour training session. About an hour and a half of it is just based on exercise, which is bullshit, to be honest with you. Like, wrestling is hard enough as it is. This goes back to the whole thing about drilling people,
Yeah.
The fitness aspect of wrestling is something that you should do in your own time. And if you can't hack it in the training that we do, then maybe it's an idea for you to step back, go to get a gym membership, work at that for a little while, get your cardio up, get your do a couple of weight bearing exercises, on a regular basis, and maybe, just maybe, you might be fit enough to be able to keep up with people in when they're working, when you're having a training session at a wrestling school. But just to go back to that, as I told Liam and Nathan, I didn't have high expectations of PPW, but not only did they meet my expectations, but they exceeded it by leaps and bounds. Like, it got to the point where, where someone like me was starting to realize, oh, hang on, there's a different way to do this. There's a different way to do wrestling. I can do it like this. It can be done like this. It's like, it's become like a lot more. I became a lot more open to, like, different styles of wrestling and different ways of thinking about wrestling. Like, there's one thing about Liam, which I really do admire about him, is that he's not the type of like coach to kind of like think, okay, it's my way or the highway, like a lot of the other trainers that I've had in my time. His mindset is, I don't know if he's doing this deliberately. Like, he has like mentioned like some of the books that he's read, but he reads a lot of like self-help books and a lot of philosophy books. And I think he kind of looks at wrestling as kind of like it's less like maths, where it's kind of like, dead set 2 + 2 = 4, but it's more like a science. It's something that's continually developing as the industry as a whole, develops, the advent of a lot of the new technology that we've got. Like, I come from the era of people like discussing wrestling on, forums online and getting like non-WWE wrestling footage from, tape traders, DVDs mainly. I missed the VHS era. Though I did get a few VHSs back in the early days. We didn't have any of these streaming services that you have now. In fact, this is back during the dial-up days. And, the amount of people that knew about like local indie wrestling, or the amount of people that knew about, foreign wrestling, American, Japanese, Mexican, were very few and far between.
Yeah.
Like, you had, like, the way I kind of look at it, there was this small, very hardcore, like, anorak base that liked anything in, tights and boots. Broadly speaking, after that, you had the group of people that, just watch wrestling regularly on television, and then there are a bigger number of people who just like bought one pay-per-view per year. Like they're the type of people that would have bought the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, just like a one-off thing.
Yeah.
But these days, like, it used to be where the proportion of like, one group to the other group to the other group was like that. But now, because, wrestling is so globalized thanks to technology, those numbers have gone exponentially much bigger.
Oh, yeah.
And also the way it's the presentation of wrestling as a whole has changed dramatically from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like back in our days, wrestling that had a Titantron, one of the big screens or something like that, was considered to be quite, high end.
Yeah.
These days, any other, these days, pretty much like every nightclub out there has kind of like a big screen that you can just like project stuff on,
Yeah. I've spoke before on here how, like, when I was growing up, it was weird for a girl to like wrestling. So I used to like hide it from my friends. And it weren't until I was much older that I started letting people know. And I still, from select friends, get the weird, what do you like about it? Like, I'm like, look, I sit and watch EastEnders, that's all scripted, and we know, everyone knows what's going to happen. To me, wrestling is just a dramatic soap opera with fighting,
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
but
it used to bother me when people used to say it's fake and things like that, and I'm like,
I hate that word.
It used to get me to borderline, well, I was going to say borderline homicidal, but I was never that angry about it. It just kind of got me thinking, fuck off. Like, you literally watch like Michael Bay movies. You can't criticize me for, liking wrestling.
I used to get it at work when I worked at Asda because I missed the Christmas party to go to a Tidal show. And they were like, what are you going wrestling for? It's fake. I'm like, you sat there watching movies. It's the same thing. And I always, if anyone says it's fake, I'm always like, it's not fake. predetermined. There's more training and like effort goes into wrestling than say getting in a ring and just punching someone, because you've got to learn not to kill that other person.
Usually,
you've got to learn to do it safely.
except with the aforementioned scurfing thing that we mentioned previously.
Yeah. So, what made you lean into deathmatch wrestling then?
I've kind of always had like a love for hardcore wrestling. Like the first wrestling show that I ever watched was an episode of SmackDown, and there's two matches that I distinctly remember from that first episode. One was a match between X-Pac and Chris Jericho, and that struck me as like what really brought my attention, because I've been a lifelong martial arts fan, and seeing like X-Pac doing like spin kicks and spinning back kicks and wheel kicks and things like that, I was like, oh, that's different. That's nice.
Yeah.
And then straight afterwards, it was a hardcore match with Raven versus the Big Show. Yeah, and I just kind of thought, hang on, this guy's literally like fighting out in the streets against this big fuck off dude. He's using everything but the kitchen, everything and the kitchen sink. I should reiterate. And then he suddenly had a ninja come out and help him escape. Which, martial arts fan, ninjas.
There you go. See a ninja, your soul.
Oh yeah.
But
so, yeah, it kind of went on from there, and the friend that I had that got me to the wrestling school also lent me some ECW VHSs. I think I had Barely Legal 97. I think I had Hardcore Heaven 98, and then Living Dangerously 1999. Sorry, Living Dangerously 2000. And that kind of like solidified. He also gave me the Born to Be Wired as well, the no rope barbed wire match with Sabu and Terry Funk, where Sabu got, about half his bicep ripped open.
Yeah.
I think that kind of solidified my love for hardcore wrestling as a whole.
Seeing someone get his bicep ripped open was like, I want to do that.
It was more a case of like, wow, that is fucking different from the stuff I'm seeing on television. Where can I get more of this?
Yeah, it's like
it's like a big hit. It's like a big hit of like. I mean, I've never really taken any drugs, despite what people may say. But I imagine it would be kind of like the first hit of cocaine or something like that.
Yeah,
it was just adrenaline. It was such a shock to me, to see something like that, to the point where it was just. I just wanted to see more of it.
Yeah. Well, like I say, if everyone liked the same stuff, it'd be boring. So, and
I won't disparage any other style neither.
I love a good hardcore match. I do. Mm-hmm. But I watch them sometimes, and I'm flinching, and I'm just like, how can you want to put your body through that? You
should try being in one.
No.
Well, I'm not. I mean, I say that. I've never really, to the best of my recollection, I don't think I've ever been in a hardcore match or other, with someone who I was more than certain was going to end up hurting me with the gimmickry that they were using. Like, I've been lucky in the sense that most everyone I've ever met who I've ever been in a hardcore match with or whatever has always known what they're doing and taken care of them, taken care of me, been the professional.
Yeah. But I don't know how you can do it safely. I've always said, there's certain things about wrestling that I never want to know the answer to, because I like to keep that little bit of magic about it to me.
Yeah.
There's certain moves, certain things, and I'm just like, I don't want to know. I don't know. I don't want to know. I want to keep that little bit of belief that.
Broadly speaking, I think it's in order to actually want to do like hardcore wrestling, deathmatch or otherwise. Yeah, you got to have a little bit of crazy in you. little bit of stupidity as well.
Well, I didn't want to say
Yeah, so
that.
basically, craziness, stupidity, bravery, and depending on who you're talking to, maybe a little bit of alcohol, a bit of Dutch courage. Not me. I don't drink
And in your
before
case,
matches.
immortality.
Yeah.
You've got
Yeah.
you're a vampire, so you know you've got immortality on your.
Yes. Let's go with that.
But
I can still feel pain.
yeah, but I did
You know?
recently see you get raw garlic shoved in your mouth.
Yes, that was extraordinarily unpleasant. Would not recommend.
Did it burn?
Jack. No, it just tasted really, really horrible.
It stunk.
I mean,
The
it's
whole
garlic.
room stunk.
Yes, you should try having it shoved in your mouth, love.
No, I would rather not. I don't. Oh no.
I mean, between taking a light tube shot and getting garlic shoved in my mouth again, I'll take the light tube. Okay.
Right, we're going to play our game now.
Okay.
So it's all about vampires.
All right.
And it is called, are you ready for this? Fangs for the Memories. Clever, that, isn't it?
Yes. Bet you stayed up a whole night last night thinking of that.
Yes. No.
I'm not being sarcastic.
No, totally didn't. Gosh, just most of today.
All right.
Right, I've got a graphic. I will enter here. So, question 1, I'm pretty sure you'll know. Which historical figure inspired Count Dracula?
That would be Vlad Dracula, or Vlad III, or Vlad the Impaler,
Yes.
or Vlad Tepes, if you want to use the proper Romanian pronunciation.
I just had Vlad the Impaler written down.
Yes, well, I don't know if you've realised this from some of our previous conversations, but I'm a bit of a history nerd.
Yeah.
Also, I actually have a friend from Romania, or several friends actually, that have degrees in medieval Romanian studies. So they've kind of like clued me in on some of the more interesting and rather underrated facts about the guy.
Oh, that does sound interesting.
Yeah, like stuff like he was married twice, but he didn't have any legitimate heirs. Stuff like he was Orthodox Christian at the start of his life, and then supposedly he converted to Catholicism when he was in the custody of Matthias Corvinus after he was arrested following his second reign as Prince of Wallachia.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like I said, big history nerd. I can talk a lot about the guy.
Well, the questions get a little bit sillier than that.
Okay.
What do vampires traditionally do when exposed to the sun?
Depends on which story you like to believe.
Not Twilight.
If you for Bram Stoker's Dracula, they just don't. They're not quite as powerful as they used to be. Like the sunlight is literally a disinfectant to them, so they're basically about as vulnerable as any mortals. Read the end of the Bram Stoker's Dracula, and you'll find out. Number 2, Twilight. They sparkle like fucking fairies. Like Anyway, for most others, like my favorite Vampire the Masquerade and most films, they burst into flames because sun and undeadness is antithetical to each other.
The Twilight twinkly, like as soon as I saw that, I turned it off and I haven't watched them.
Yes.
Right.
Just thinking about Twilight just instills me with homicidal rage.
Please don't go kill anybody.
That's fine. I mean, my brother's in the next room and I like him, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, don't kill your brother. True or false? In some cultures, vampires can be repelled with mustard seeds.
There are some stories about where if you take like some mustard seeds and throw them down, then the vampire's got to start counting them. That's one of them. It's not specifically mustard seeds. Like there is some where it's like rice or like some other type of food like that. But that is one of the legends that is attributed to them. It's almost. I never thought that vampires would have OCD. In all honesty.
That's so weird. So does that mean mid-match, if someone just threw something on the ground, you'd get down and start counting it?
No.
Just you've got.
I don't have OCD. Also, I could just as easily get like a brush or a shake or like a duster, an electric duster, and just carry them up like that. Because, I mean, not all legends about vampires are true. You know.
That is true. But apparently that's true. In some cultures, mustard seeds repel them.
Yeah, I think it's most of the legends when it comes to vampires come from the Balkan region. Though they do get like other like cultures having their own influences in there.
Oh. I don't know that much about vampires, to be fair. I like Lost Boys.
Yeah. Same here.
It's a very good movie.
You're eating maggots, Michael.
Which children's vampire is famous for counting? What's his name?
That would be the Count from Sesame Street. Which I actually had a very interesting spot, which got an absolute laugh first time round. I try to like bring it back every now and then, but you know, I think you've seen this before, haven't you? I basically just do the Eddie Guerrero thing, you know, the whole like three amigos, but I count with each one. So it's like, does anyone like Sesame Street? Let's do the count. 1, 2, 3.
That's amazing. That is brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant.
One of these days, I'm going to have to get a shirt with like the count or something like that, doing the three amigos thing.
Yeah. Now this one's silly.
Unfortunately, okay.
If vampires posted on Instagram, what would their biggest issue be?
Besides the aforementioned Twilight. This is an interesting one I could respond to. Though, unfortunately, unless you play Vampire the Masquerade, you're not going to get the reference. So I've got to really think about this. I mean, I could do two answers to it if you'd like.
Go on then.
Okay, so for the standard people, i.e. you people in Normie Land, if vampires were on Instagram, I imagine their biggest pet peeve would just basically being, just fashion senses. And also probably all these Instagram models, like, you know, putting in some fake fangs and like, you know, all this, or doing all this gaudy fashion and like, you know, saying, "Oh, I'm a vampire." Kind of like,
Go on then. What's the other answer?
All right. Okay. So for anyone who's played Vampire the Masquerade, you'll know that there are different clans of vampires. And one particular clan, known as the Toreador, would more than likely want to have a bit of a... they would have a love-hate relationship with Instagram. Because on the one hand, they'd love it because they get all the attention from all these mortals saying that they're all pretty vampires and, you know, they want them to come, you know, they want them to go around their house and, you know, suck their blood and possibly other things as well. But let's not, let's keep this somewhat PG. Yes. But they would also get absolutely aggravated from it, from the levels of entrancement they would get from just like endlessly scrolling, you know. There's nothing more like, there is nothing more aggravating to a Toreador than just doom scrolling through like social media and being entranced by some picture that happens to crop up from their recommendations. And if you don't get what I'm talking about, you've obviously never played Vampire the Masquerade before.
Don't play it.
And it's probably a good thing, in all honesty.
Do you want to know
It's
what
a fucking
answer
awesome
I
game,
had?
don't get me wrong. But
Do you want to know what answer I had?
what did you have?
they wouldn't be able to take selfies because they got no reflection.
Bullshit.
Your answers were much better.
Yeah.
Right. I don't
Also,
know if
technically speaking, old style cameras were the ones that had mirrors in them. That's why they don't show up in reflections. And because like modern cameras, you know, what you got on your phone, they don't use mirrors. So technically they should pop up under cameras.
Oh, well, there we go.
I know this because guess what? I'm a fucking nerd about this stuff.
I thought you were going to say because you can take selfies.
Yeah. That was a problem.
Oh, it's going to chaos. Right.
Yes.
What can cure vampirism?
Probably death. I don't know.
Yeah,
like that's a question as old as time. You know, if there was a way to cure a vampire of vampirism, you think it would have been part of the regular, you know, legends about them. But it's basically once you got vampirism, you're done. Yes, it's that until final death.
Yeah, I think my eldest asked me the other day, would I rather be a vampire or a zombie? And I was like, vampire. Then I got, would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf? And I was just like, vampire. Like, I would rather be a vampire than a werewolf.
I don't know. Like, with a zombie, you're probably going to end up like rotting
Yeah.
to death. With a werewolf, you're probably going to live about as long as you know, humans live.
Well, what's put me off a werewolf is I watched Vampire Diaries, I think it was. And on Vampire Diaries, when they turn into a werewolf, they break all their bones and they're like in serious agony. And it always plays in my head because I hate watching stuff like that. And it was like, and breaking all his bones and he was screaming. And I was like, nah, could never be a werewolf.
Yeah, that as well. Though they do get that whole regeneration thing going on. You know, the bones all break into place and everything like that. But you know, the rapid healing, which apparently, if you know the science behind it, would technically set the person on what we're talking like big like biology science, because it basically would, in order to like get from one state of being to another, your body would have to use a lot of energy. You know. It's sort of like, it's like whenever you see a caterpillar like gorging itself on leaves and things like that, it's doing that to store up all the calories and nutrients, and also the point where it goes into hibernation so it can start to transform itself into a butterfly.
It makes
Science,
sense.
you know?
Stop making logic out of werewolves.
Yeah, but the worst thing, right, just to bring us back to the whole vampire thing, the worst thing about vampires, being a vampire, in my opinion, would be basically living forever. Because, you know, not only would you live long enough to see your children and your family and your friends all die, natural causes or otherwise, but more than likely you're going to feel completely alienated from the people that are around you, like regardless of whether you make new friends or not. Like, how alienated do you think, you know, 70, 80-year-old pensioners feel when they start talking to people of the current generation? Yeah. And that's just within a human lifetime. Imagine how you would feel if you were someone from maybe 150, 200 years ago, and you basically got dropped in exactly where you are in the middle of, you know, modern day England or anywhere else. You likely wouldn't even speak the same language of the people, you know, depending on, you know, where exactly in the world you are. You might not even have the same religion. Yeah. And then there's everything else as well. Like, it's likely going to grate at you mentally to feel so isolated. And the only people that you could really talk to is, like, you know, the other undead, and they're all arseholes as well.
Yeah, I've done 40 years, and sometimes I think I've had enough. Can I get off yet? I don't think I could live forever. No. Now, funny one. What would be the modern day equivalent of being invited into someone's home?
Message on Facebook.
Oh, that's very close to what I've
social
got.
media.
I've got accepted message.
I'm taking it literally, in this case.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't want to be crude and say something like a booty call or something like that.
Right. This is not fair because you at Kmart said I wasn't an angel. I am being an angel.
No, I just said you had a dirty mind.
You put the thought there.
No, I threw it up. You're the one hit it.
The joke was
Your
there.
lot were chanting "vampires suck" to me, and I said I don't suck. We'll see at the end of today who sucks. And you thought that was funny enough to the point where I realized, oh, hang on, you're making a crude double entendre in here. This is a family show. Keep your dirty mind out of this. No?
It was Jeebus.
You need Jeebus.
We'll blame Jeebus.
Right, we'll blame Jeebus, but we'll especially blame you.
Fine. Fine. Right. Speaking of Kmart, though, you are defending your title soon, aren't you?
Yes, I will be. This coming December in Wakefield.
Matty Carter and young Horace.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Are we looking forward to it?
I would safely say that this is going to be an interesting one because, well, I have a bit of a history with young Horace, as you know, dating back to the first Kmart show, which was pretty much almost exactly a year ago today.
Oh, wow.
Well, I say today, it's almost exactly a year ago, give or take a week or so.
Mm.
He was the first person that I faced and the first person that I beat. And I also met him at the finals of the tournament to determine who was the first ever British Openweight champion, where I also debuted the new finishing hold that I've been using ever since then.
Oh, is that the one you did to Jack Bennett in the chair? More or less.
The idea that I had for it was basically to take advantage of the no DQ stipulation that the finals of the tournament had. And I knew that I was going to have to use the sharpshooter at some point. But, when you're having when you're in the finals of a tournament or you're fighting for a title, more or less you're pretty much guaranteed that the person you're going to face is going to fight you tooth and nail. And, well, he put up more of a fight than I was originally anticipating, but then I remembered I have a very creative mind when it comes to wrestling holds like that. And I just figured, well, if he can't move his arms, then he can't break out of the hold.
That is very true.
And I also made the management at Kmart. I made them aware that I would be willing to give up my championship advantage in order to use that hold. So it's basically been pretty much the hold that I use these days.
Mm. Well, I mean,
you can call it whatever you want.
They're both really.
You can call it a cloak.
What can we name it? We're going to name it something now.
Well, I've had a few people ask me about it, and I've had a few ideas for it. I could have called it closed casket. Could have used it. Could have called it coffin lock.
Ooh.
Kmart has insisted that I call it coffin lock because, well, the idea of a closed casket isn't exactly fitting with their image as a family-friendly promotion. But
a coffin is. A coffin is fine.
Yeah. It could have been a final nail in the coffin, but unfortunately that name's already been taken.
Oh, I like that.
Also, it's a little bit long.
Yeah. Or just the final nail.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that. but it's already been
Yeah,
taken.
the
So
last, the last nail's already taken. Thank you,
Yeah.
Atticus Koga. He was a really good guy, by the way.
But these two you're up against aren't easy people to beat. Like,
No,
Horace
they're
is wily. He's wily and he doesn't stay down.
I know. He's like, he has what I describe as that small yapper type dog energy about him. He's not very
Oh,
big, but he has tremendous energy about him, where he just
does.
keeps on coming up and trying to show that he's tough. But you have to keep him down, which is where the coffin lock came in.
Well, maybe he can call his sliced bread garlic bread for one night only.
Well, I'm going to have to make sure in that case that he doesn't put it on me then.
No, but Matty Carter as well. Matty Carter is so impressive. I love watching Matty Carter.
Yeah, when I first saw him, was actually in a match that I had with Matthias, Matthias Havana. And they were wearing matching pajamas by the look of things, which annoyed the hell out of me, especially considering that he distracted referee Sandy Beaches enough for for her to not notice that he was tapping out to the sharpshooter that I put on him.
Yeah.
But I will admit the last Kmart show that he was at, and he did his that little twisting cutter that he does out the corner. I thought was pretty impressive.
Yes. Oh, the Soul Snatcher. Yeah. It was incredible. Like, so you've got two very flippy boys.
Yep.
You've got to beat them.
Of course I'm going to beat them. Like I said earlier on, I gave up the championship advantage just so I could use that coffin lock hold. And everything that happens from the start of the match, when the bell rings, to the end of it, when I inevitably put that hold on one of them, well, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we?
But you don't have to be pinned. Like,
no,
there's always that with a triple threat. You know, you don't have to be pinned.
No, which is why you've got to keep your eyes and ears open.
You're not nervous. You could lose your title and not even be pinned.
I might have a moment of nervousness 5 minutes before the match starts.
Yeah.
But
you come out or business.
I'm long past the point where I feel nervous for matches.
That's true. Been around a long time. What's your favourite match you've had?
What, in Kmart or in general?
Or just in general, if you can remember them all. Pick one.
I'll pick 5 of them that were memorable for me.
On them.
Number 1, the match that I had with Lionheart.
I was there for that.
Yeah. It was memorable for me because it was the first time that I'd ever worked with a name wrestler back in 2015. And I was kind of always seen as the guy that could get a good match out of anyone. And Lionheart was kind of seen the same way. And also keep in mind, this was about he'd just come back from the injury that he'd got. I don't know if you remember that he took a Styles clash from AJ Styles and ended up breaking his neck.
Yes, yeah.
He'd come back early in the month, and I was very nervous about doing something wrong and ending up seriously injuring him. And I just kind of I had a nice conversation with him about what he was doing to get it remedied, and he said that he'd rehabbed it, but he was going to get surgery later in life.
Oh,
and, unfortunately,
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't know if he ever got that surgery, but his life went the way that it did, and he's no longer with us. But I regret not having a second match with him, because I would have loved to have seen how much of an improvement it was. But yeah, that one match with Lionheart. The match that I had with Styx, the heavyweight House of Pain, and the head trainer at House of Pain, stands out to me as like one of my finer matches from that era. And considering how much, how I felt, how I was mentally at the time, because it was same year that Trav passed, Styx got the best match that he could out of me. And yeah, considering that he's probably one of the bigger guys that I've ever worked with, he was an absolute gentleman to me, and he's got my unlimited love and respect for it.
Yeah, he's a really good guy, Styx.
Absolutely. The most recent one, the match I had with Jack Bennett, was one that I thought was, it was less than 10 minutes, but
was
it was
it
a family-friendly show. Yeah, it was about 8 minutes 40 something seconds, I think.
Oh wow!
And yeah, like we had a conversation like beforehand, that we were going to get the best that we could out of the spots that we had, because we both like come in with the mentality that the audience that we had only more than likely only just watched wrestling on television, and probably like had seen like TikTok videos and things like that of reels of wrestling. So we just kind of thought, okay, let's make this kind of like a reel of our own, and we just kind of set it up that way. And you know what the weird thing is as well, I've shown that match to a few people, and a lot of people say that me and Jack had a very natural, we worked naturally well together.
You did?
Which, all right, there we go. That's another person added to the list then. I think it might be because we have the similar. Yeah, I think we have this similar mindset to wrestling, in all honesty. Yeah, so that's number 3.
Yeah.
The 3-way match that I had at Kumite. Yeah, actually I had 2 3-ways, but I kind of like put them both together if I can screw with the rules a little bit. The debut that I had with Rourke and Joseph Cardinal, that was a really good like highlight of it was just basically a callback to the stuff I used to watch, watching TNA and Ring of Honor in like early 2000s, where it's just like pop 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 pop. Like, it was a fireworks match. There wasn't much in the way of selling, but there were a lot of really good spots, which even today I think I'm really proud of. Like the one spot I came up for Rourke was after I'd done a suicide dive onto a Cardinal. I would just stand up and be outside the ring, and he would just because he was in the ring, he came over, grabbed me by my collar and lifted me up onto the apron before he turned me around and did the whole heel toss into the ring. We also had the spot where I had Cardinal on my shoulders, was coming out, and Rourke just came up, lifted us, the 2 of us up, and just slammed us down a spine buster.
Oh, wow!
I thought, looked really nice.
Wow.
Yeah, it was just a constant flow of motion in between. It was like perpetual motion. It kept people engaged until the very end.
That's what you want, though, isn't it? Really, that's what a match wants.
Yeah. Well, and also we had a lot of death matches and things like that to contest with. So we had to figure out some way to make our match different, but also still in with the chaotic energy that Kumite had. And the other three-way that I had at Kumite was against Tombi and Voodoo Queen at the time. Now she's known as Blue She. Yeah, this is some people might say that it wasn't a death match, but it was. Considering the state that I was in afterwards, with half of my face covered in blood and about a 2-inch gash on my back. From, I'm guessing it must have been one of the light tubes.
Oh,
it kind of felt like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a little. It was a nice little. It was just basically a nice little explosion of ultra violence. We had a lot of really weird gimmicks got thrown our way as well. we had like this bag of like VHS tapes, which all of us kept on like flinging at each other. I took a bump in some drawing pins. I got smacked with a couple of these like black light tubes, like Gothic light tubes, which I thought was really nice.
Yeah.
I brought out a like a karma sickle, like a Japanese type sickle, which I used on Tombi. And I eventually finished with me taking Tombi's one-winged angel gimmick into the corner where we had this board of plastic forks set up.
Oh my God.
those were none too pleasant.
Again, why do
that.
you?
Yeah. As we said earlier, crazy, stupid, maybe a bit of courage, maybe a bit of just genuine love for wrestling, and well, I don't know. There's like an adrenaline thrill to it as well. Like, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I will say the one memorable thing I have about that, the other memorable thing I have about that match is that, well, after I'd taken like a second light tube shot, I kind of did the stupid thing and kind of like went up, like it turned up, and it kind of went over my eye like that. I didn't lose up my eyesight or anything like that, but I remember being laid in like the corner, like upside down practically, from like taking the one-winged angel, and the referee, Steve, who is an absolute legend. He came over to me and was like, "Right, stop it! Don't open your eye. You've got a bit of glass in your corner of your eye." And he was like, he was flipping it out there, and I was told to keep my eyes shut until like it went up, and the lady who was doing like all the, aftercare stuff, she wiped it all away, and she basically said, "Okay, you can open your eyes now." I was like, "All right, that's okay."
Oh, that's
yeah, like I had to get a couple of steri strips on my back from from I'm guessing it must have been like one of the light tubes that I took over the head, and it kind of like shivered down because I wasn't wearing a shirt, and it must have went down and like cut on the middle of my back. I think it was kind of the same cut that Lou had about a year prior to that. It's a match that he had in a match at a Rye show, I think. Like it wasn't very big, but it was deep enough to start pumping, blood out and everything. Yeah, we just had to get a couple of seri strips, and yeah, I was fine.
See, I always want to go to Kumite, but it's awkward timings and stuff that I can't.
Yeah, because it's they always do their shows on a Sunday afternoon in Derby, and well, the last Kumite, I was actually at the last Kumite show, and a lot of people were arriving late to the venue because of the combination of traffic and the weather at the time.
Yeah, so it's awkward for me on Sundays because obviously it's not family friendly, so I can't.
Yeah, that's
I tend to have her on Sundays, so I'm like, oh, I can't go. So, what have you got coming up aside from the came on 14th? That 14th of December?
Yes, the 14th of December, I believe. I do actually have a couple. Yeah, there's a couple of matches that are going to be announced. One for November, hopefully, if plans don't change, and a couple for January and February. But unfortunately, I've been told to keep it, shut until that happens. So unfortunately, I can't tell you anything more than that. But I could shill that I've got some new merch to sale. I've got some stickers, £1 stickers. Yes. Also got the usual things of 8x10s and t-shirts and but yeah.
And blood-soaked garlic.
Hopefully not.
Buy them fake garlic bulbs and start selling like garlic necklaces and stuff.
Garlic bulbs.
Yeah, like
garlic bulbs.
Yeah, and bulbs.
You mean light bulbs?
No, garlic bulbs of garlic. Garlic.
You can buy bulbs of garlic at your locals.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend you don't.
No. Right. Fake ones, and then make a necklace, sell them.
You can get those from people from France.
Right.
It's a
Who's
national
going-
pastime to it too. Yes, but who? Yeah, exactly. Who wants to go to France?
Who's like, if they can get it off you in Barnsley, why are they going to go to France? Much cheaper.
This is all I'm just going to say.
Fine. No garlic necklaces.
Yes, no garlic, please. We're British.
Still
at least you know.
nice. Still nice to eat. I love garlic.
Season, perhaps, not raw.
Oh no. Could never eat raw garlic because
Yeah, Jack Bennett says I'm a sick puppy for doing that stuff.
was it your idea?
Yes, but that's beside the point.
You're like, oh, I can't have a light tube over my head. Just feed me garlic. You've got to screw loose, you have.
You only just realised.
Yeah. I thought you were quite normal, Radu.
For the most part. Except when I get into wrestling.
Yeah. That's when the Mr. Vampire comes out.
Yes.
Right. Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode. I have been Nikki, as per usual, and I have been joined by Mr. Vampire, Radu Bulat. Catch him at Kmar. Go check out his socials. I'll tag him and collab with him and everything else. Go and see the crazy stuff that he does. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye-bye.